Hi everyone, I'm Alex from PixTeller, and today we'll make a long video explainer to show you most of the PixTeller editor functionality, features, and most of all, what's new with the animation mode release. So, let's open the PixTeller editor in blank format, and we'll take things from there and show you step by step. On the left side, you'll find the main menu and features, from setting up your design properties to shapes, images, text, and drawing. On the top of the page, you'll find an extra menu where you can order, rotate, set opacity, set alignment, flip, clone, delete any elements selected for your design. Also on the top right, you may find the history undo and redo buttons. On the right corner of your header, you may set up or change the design title and set the privacy to public or private. Any private design will be visible only to you under your PixTeller account. The Save button is on the header of the page and also can be executed from the keyboard command with Ctrl+S. In the middle right of the page are located the multiple page options. By using this function, you can create multiple design pages by adding new ones or clone the existing ones. This feature is also great if you want to create long-length animations using PixTeller Editor. The Animation Mode Switch button is located in the top right corner of the editor canvas area. Once you click it, you'll be able to switch the editor form design to Animation Mode, where you can create amazing motions between instances for any element you added in Design Mode. On the right bottom of the page, you'll find the Zoom menu, where you can adjust your design preview area according to your needs. I hope you understand where the main menus of PixTeller Editor are located. Now let's go into the deep functionality. In order to start making your PixTeller design, you must know and set the right size you need. In order to change the size, you must go on the left panel under the Design Properties menu. You can use the preset sizes added by us, or you may just type in the design width and height inputs the size you want. Let's say we want to make a landscape design for a Facebook post. And to do this, I will click on Preset Size button and choose 1200 by 630 pixels dimension. Once I do this, the canvas design will adjust according to the new dimensions. Another great way to change the canvas size is the Smart Resize options. This is great when you use pre-made layouts and you want to automatically adjust all the elements to new dimensions. I know it's not perfect yet, but many times it helps me a lot and especially saves me a lot of time when I convert a size to a new one. From the design properties, I can also change the background color. The default background color is white, and when I click on it, the color menu will open. In order to have a transparent background that works great on PNG files, I must change the opacity to 0 from the color menu. Also, I can choose between a solid color, linear gradient, or radial gradient. I'll play a little bit with these options, so you'll have an idea of how they work. Once I'm in the submenu, I can easily set the angle of the colors. I can change the color palette by clicking on the color and selecting a different one in the Edit Change menu. To add a new one, just click on the bottom line. To choose the right color, you have plenty of options. You can pick from our default palette that I think is really great. You can use Advanced Mode, or you can just roll over your mouse cursor over the canvas and pick a color from there. For more experienced users who know the exact hex or RGB of the color, you can paste the exact color code in the related inputs. For this example, I'll use one of my favorite colors. That is yellow. Once the design size and background are settled, let's go to the next menu from the left section, that is, Shapes. I can choose from the most two common shapes like rectangle and ellipse, or I can just click the More Shapes button and choose from thousands and thousands of different shapes. For example, let's add a rocket shape. To do this, I will search for a rocket, choose one, and click on it. The rocket shape selected will be added to the top left of my design area with a default size of 100 pixels width and 100 pixels height. Now you can do whatever you want with the shape. You can scale it and keep its aspect ratio by dragging the shape from any corner of the selection area. Or you can move it to any place of the design area. From the Shapes menu, you can manually set the width, height, horizontal and vertical positions by inserting the right values in the related inputs. Keep in mind that all these input values are in pixels. For the selected shape, you may change the order, rotation value, opacity, alignment, flip property from the top menu. For my rocket shape, you can also apply a bunch of filters by clicking on the Filters button on the left and open the Shape Filters menu. You can change the border, shadow, or skew values. You may also adjust the shape, brightness, hue, saturation, lightness, and RGB. What is awesome is that you can add a blur, noise, or pixelate effect on your design shapes. In my case, I will add just a simple shadow filter. You can change the shape color by clicking on the Color button Shapes menu. You may choose between solid, linear gradient, radial gradient, using the same steps as we did on the design background color. For my shape, I will choose the white color. What is really awesome on PixTeller Editor is that you can always replace any shape with another by keeping all the initial properties like size, position, color, or any other filters. In order to use the Replace function, select the shape and click the Replace Shape button. Once you do that, select the new shape you want to be added. In my example, I will replace my space rocket with a different one. As soon as I do that, the new shape will keep the rocket shape properties. This operation may save a lot of time because you don't need to repeat the process to add new properties and so on. I really hope you understand the basics of handling a shape. Now let's move to the next big menu, the Images menu. Once you open it, you can click on the Add Image button in order to add any photo or illustration on your design. On the Add Image panel, you basically have three possibilities. The first one is to search in our database of millions of photos and illustrations for the one that is fit for your design. The second one is to upload your own images by switching the Add Image panel in Upload mode. Click on the Upload Images button. Identify the images you want to add and upload them on PixTeller. The third possibility is to add any visual asset from My Gallery section. You can add any photo you find in the Search or Upload menu to My Gallery by rolling over the image you want to add and click on the Save to Gallery button. Once you've saved your favorite photos in My Gallery, you'll always find them there. For example, I always keep my company identity in My Gallery section. So let's add a rocket photo from the Search section. To do this, I will search for rocket. I can also filter the results by photos or illustrations. Choose the image you want to add, roll over it, and click it in order to be added to the canvas. I would like to make a mention here. You can add images into your PixTeller design in other two ways that for sure many of you didn't know this yet. You can search on the internet for any images, right-click on it, click Save Image button, come back on PixTeller Editor, and paste it on the canvas using Ctrl+V keyboard command, or right-click over the editor canvas and click on the Paste option. Other option is to add your own images into PixTeller Editor, is to drag images from your computer directly over the PixTeller Editor canvas area. The images will be automatically uploaded and added to your design. Now, after I showed you how to insert your image into the PixTeller design, let's play with my rocket photo. I can scale it by keeping the aspect ratio, by clicking and dragging any corner from the image selection. Also, I can move it onto any place of the design. You may find very helpful the guidelines. An option that sometimes is misunderstood is that I can resize the image at any size without destroying the aspect ratio. We call this the clipping crop function. I can change the clipping position by selecting one of 9 points. The default clipping position point is on the middle center. Remember that, for my rocket photo, I can change the order, rotation value, opacity, alignment, flip property all from the top menu. In my example, I'll set the image as background by clicking on the Set as Background button from the left menu. Once I do that, the image will be resized to the design size. In our case, a Facebook post, 1200 pixels width and 630 pixels height. Also, I want somehow to have a border around, so I will manually resize the image from the width and height inputs by decreasing the width and height with 100 pixels and 60 pixels respectively, and set the alignment to center and middle. I can easily crop any wanted photo area without destroying my photo properties like size or position from the editor. Another option for your images added on PixTeller Editor is that you can mask them with any shape available. You can choose from thousands and thousands of shapes, from geometrical shapes to ones that you didn't even know that exists. In our case here, the best mask is the rectangle that is the default mask for all the images you add on into the editor. But do not forget, you can update the mask at any moment. The true power of PixTeller comes with a bunch of filters and effects that you can apply to your photos and illustrations. By clicking on the Filters button on the left and opening the Page Filters menu, you can apply image effects like Vintage to Sin City, from Clarify to Glowing Sun, and give to your photos used on your design a stunning new look. Again, as you have seen for the shape, you can change the border, shadow, or skew values. You may also adjust the shape brightness, hue, saturation, lightness, and RGB. What is awesome is that you can add a blur, noise, or pixelate effect on your design photos. Most of these filters you will not be able to find elsewhere on any other online editor. But most important is that you can use all these filters to create your own videos or GIFs from just a single image. We'll show you how a little bit later in this tutorial, so be patient. Let's adjust the image size and position a little so it will look really good. What is really nice is that you can always replace the image with another one and keep all the initial properties from size and position to any effect or filter. You can do this by clicking the Replace Image button and choosing another photo that will replace the old one. This function is really time-saving. Now let's move forward and see how to add a text element to your design. To do this, just click the Text button to open the text panel. Once the panel is opened, click on the Add Text button. A default text element with a black color will be added on the top left corner of your design. Let's move it to a more visible area. Now, double-click the text input in order to change the text. I will choose a title from a Jason Silva video that, personally, I love it. It's called Creativity is Madness. So I replaced the default text with this. And remember, you can always replace any text at any moment. Once the text has been added, let's adjust the text element container width. I always love these numbers, so I'll write the exact size I want in pixels in the input container. I'll resize it to 400 pixels. I know it may be hard to do this, but you can also resize the text container using your mouse, but it's harder to get exact values. The default font that is used on PixTeller Editor is Oswald. Let's pick up a new font by clicking on the Font Family button from the left menu. Once I do that, the Font Family panel is opened. We have two possibilities now. The first one is to choose a font from PixTeller default list that you can easily filter by type: serif, sans serif, monospace, handwriting, and display. You have available over 150 fonts on PixTeller for free. The second option is to click on My Fonts button, and from there you can upload your own fonts. As you see in this video, I already have over 100 fonts uploaded on the editor. Once the font is uploaded, click on the font name and the font family for your text will be updated instantly. In our example, I will choose a font that is the default list. I will go and I will apply the display filter. I will search for a font family that I think is fit for this example, and I will click on it in order to update my Creativity is Madness text element. Breamcather is the font I choose. Now let's align the text on the center and let's update the font size. You may write the size directly on the size input, or you can play with the slider and make the fine adjustments by clicking on the plus or minus buttons. Perfect! My text looks great at 90 pixels font size. From the top menu, you can easily change the text element order, rotation value, opacity, alignment, or flip property. I'll set the text element in the middle center of my design using the top menu alignment buttons. You can also change the text style by checking the Text Filters option. From the Text Filters panel, you can change your text line height and letter spacing. Also, you can change the border, shadow, skew, and scale values. You may also adjust the shape brightness, hue, saturation, lightness, and RGB. What is awesome is that you can add a blur, noise, or pixelate effect on your design text elements. All these options are a goldmine when it comes to create a video motion between instances in the animate mode that we'll show you later and in future tutorials. Another great thing that works really well for single-line text elements is that you can add filters like circle, concave, convex, warp, and triangle warp. This kind of text element styles you will not be able to find anywhere else. Combining these effects values between instances in video mode will result in some awesome videos or GIFs that include text elements. For my example, I will apply a warp effect. Let's change the text color by clicking on the color button from the left panel. What is great is that you can use any color from the image I have in the background by roll over the mouse cursor over it and pick any color I want from the photo. Even if I will not use drawings for my example, I will show you how to use them in case you will need them for your graphics. In order to start drawing, please click on the Drawing button from the left section. Once you do that, you may choose between the Line tool or Pencil tool. For each drawing tool you decide to use, you can change the color, the line size in pixels, and the line type. You can exit the drawing mode by checking the Stop Drawing button from the left. As a note, each drawing will be interpreted as a shape once you exit the drawing mode. To delete any unwanted elements, you must select them. You can also select multiple elements by keep pressing the Shift or Control key from the keyboard and clicking on the elements. Once the element or elements you want to delete are selected, you can press the Delete button, or press the right click of the mouse and press the Delete Element button from the list that opened. Now I'll make a button using 3 shapes that later I'll group them to one element. I know many of you don't know this, but you can group at least 2 shapes in just one element that is much easier to handle. In order to do this, I'll open the Shapes panel from the left, and I'll add 1 circle and 1 rectangle elements. See what I did there? I copy-pasted the circle using the keyboard shortcuts Ctrl+C and Ctrl+V. So now I have 2 identical elements to use for my button. Next, I will move them and I will increase the rectangle width. I will position the circles on the left and right side of the triangle. The line guides will help me a lot to exactly position the circles in the right place. Also, advanced users may use the inputs to exactly position the elements accordingly. Now the shapes seem to look like a big button. I will select all by keeping pressed the Shift or Control key and clicking on each of them. Once that all 3 shapes are selected, I can use the Group keyboard command Ctrl+G, or just click on the Group Elements button from the left section. From the Group panel in the left section, I will change the colors to a common one. You can resize the group by keeping the aspect ratio using the mouse and dragging one of the group selection corners. I'll move the group to the place I want it to be. And let's add the text for this button. I will open the Text panel and I'll add a new text element by clicking on the Add Text button. I'll update the text content, change the font family and font size, change the text alignment on center, resize the text container width, and move it over my button. Perfect! We just created a call to action button, and it looks great. Before I go and save my image, I would like to show you how the multi-page menu works. You can find the menu in the middle right of the editor. The first button will add a new blank page, and the second one will duplicate my active design page. As you see in my video tutorial, I have created two new pages, a clone and a blank one. You can easily switch between pages using the scroll of your mouse or clicking on the wanted page number. Additionally, you can use arrow buttons to change the order of your pages. Now let's play a little with our two pages. I will change the text and background image, just for practice, so you can better understand what our editor can do. If you decide to delete a page, you must have the page active and click the Delete Page button located on the multi-page menu, exactly as you see in my example. As you can imagine, the multi-page option in PixTeller Editor is a great asset to make complex videos or GIFs using the animation mode. But we'll talk more about this on future lessons. Now let's save my image design. Before I do this, let's update my design title from the top right input from the header. I will call it Image Design Example. I can also change my design privacy to public or private. I really recommend that if you use your images created on PixTeller for commercial purposes, or if some elements like photos and fonts have copyright licenses, to save in private mode. The private mode is available for all Pro and Diamond accounts. Any private design is available only for you to use or edit. If your design is for personal use or you don't have anything to hide, you may set the privacy to public, as I will do in this example. Any public design can be used by any other PixTeller user by sharing the URL of the final result. Once I have set my creation title and privacy, I can save my image in order to download, share, print, or anything you want to do with it. The Save button is located on the top right corner of the page. You can click on the Save Image button, or if you like to be faster, you can use the combination of Ctrl+S keyboard command. The image saving process may last a few seconds depending on your design resolution, the number of pages, and most important, your internet connection. Once the image design is saved, you'll see the Download button on the right top corner. If you click on it, you'll be redirected to My Designs page. Here you can preview your resulted image, and you can download it in PNG, JPEG, or PDF format. Another thing that I think is really great for the PixTeller download is that I can specify the width or height of my design before downloading it. This option is excellent if you need a thumb for your image, or maybe you need a smaller size depending on where you want to use it. From the Image Design Preview page, you can take other actions like copy or move the file to any of your folders. Please don't be scared. I have over 100 folders created under my PixTeller account, so this is safe. You can also update your design privacy or delete your image at any moment. By clicking on the Edit Image button, the design will be opened on PixTeller Editor to allow you to make any changes and save. By doing this, your image will be rewritten. One of the most popular PixTeller actions after download is the Use button. By clicking on Use button, a copy of the starting pre-made design will be made, and you can customize it to create a new visual asset, even if it's a new image, video, or GIF. I'm Alex from PixTeller, and I really hope you enjoyed my video explainer. If you have questions regarding what we made, don't hesitate to contact me or one of my team via live chat or contact form directly on PixTeller.com. Register now on PixTeller.com. An easy-to-use poster, presentation, banner, social media image, or print design maker.